What's up, everybody? This is how I made my loudest and proudest off of my last album, Destroyer. I gotta say, even going through this file, I don't think I've achieved a level of production yet in my career that exceeds this specifically. The way the drums kind of sound like they're live recorded, but they're obviously not. It's almost in between a hip hop beat and a full rock song. It took a really long time to make this. January of 2024 is when I first made this song. The final version was November of last year. Basically, I started producing the song with this break from AJ Hall. This was the first thing I did, was add these kicks and snares over it. So I knew I was gonna go in with some guitar, and this riff was just so natural. I knew I wanted to do the blues sort of progression with this. I did those two things first, and then I immediately started writing to it. This verse was the first thing I wrote.
Yeah. Split the Adderall in half to do the paper. Professor get impressed, that boy a genius, Lucy.
Then I added bass right after. And the bass is all live recorded. It took a lot of takes, but I think I got the hop right. The marriage of the bass and the drums is something that's very important to me. See how it's just floating in between the kicks and the snares and also hitting the one every time? That's kind of what I like to do with all my bass lines. Certain Gorillaz songs have this too. A lot of Arctic Monkeys songs have this too. The marriage of the bass and the drums, guitar kind of floating on top and taking center stage. That is what makes it so it sounds like it has a groove. When it came to doing the rest of this verse,
too many rupees on that table, said my manager, he don't got internet.
I knew I wanted to go fast like that, so I backed it up twice, and this was really hard to do. It took me maybe 35, 40 takes to get this right, and that's important to note, that you should really push yourself to get original audio correct before you try to fix everything.
Too many rupees on that table, said my manager.
And let's talk about this transition here before we get to the pre-chorus. So I do this a lot in songs. Certain parts of the song are just so much heavier dynamically. When they transition from the verse to the pre-chorus or the verse to the chorus or something like that, it just gets really heavy for a single second.
Just don't want to hang with us, fuck it down.
Then it's back to just being the groove. So here we have a horn sample in the pre-chorus. This is from Splice. It sounded really cool. As we get into the hook, we know the hook is going to be massive. I wanted to make the transition into the hook, kind of warn you that it's going to get really loud and huge. So I took the same break and I added this crazy ass distortion over it. And I wrote this chord progression. I want it to feel like a stadium. Wanna get higher. That made just perfect sense. Here's the vocals for that.
I wanna get higher.
And then in the drums also we have these cymbals doing this over. So this is actually a drum loop, just a regular drum loop. But I didn't want the kicks or the snares. I just kind of cut out all the kicks and snares, distorted it, and then sidechained it. It kind of sounds like this. That on top of the rest of the drums, is... And then this atmospheric sample, which shows up at the beginning of the song, but it's pitched up 12 notes here. Just kind of loops. Then we have Harry's vocals. He wanted to add some extra harmonies, so he did this. Gorgeous. Then I did some soft takes of the hook and kind of reverbed them out in the back. That's how you achieve the stadium vocal.
I wanna get higher.
You can't get that without just recording the same shit a bunch of times. And then we have the bass in the hook, obviously. But you also have this distorted synth bass here. I say synth bass because that's the setting I have this plugin on, but this is a real bass. I've been using this bass all over the fucking album. I'll never stop using it. It sounds fantastic. Then after the hook, we hop right back into the verse. There's no break, there's no nothing. So we go back into this main guitar riff over distorted version of the break, just like in the beginning of the song. And as we transition into the second part of the verse here, the guitar kind of ducks out a bit. Sounds like it's coming through a telephone. We have the bass bring us in. This just me thumbing rap. It get bloody like it's whiplash. And something interesting's happened here that hasn't happened before as far as the guitar goes. We do have the main riff here. We have two versions of this harmony happening. Now that shouldn't work with this, but it sounds cool. Really kind of like jazz theory stuff right there. It's an interesting thing to put in a song like this that's mainly rock or blues rock music. It's not in that scale at all. Cause I got advice for me like you should do this and that shit. And we drop out for this part. Obviously we have the bass, which is just for this section. It's very specific. And during this part, we also have these breaths I recorded. And it's not something you really notice because you're listening to me rap, but it builds the tension in that area. As you come in, then we have the ad-libs also. Tension without, like an EDM riser or a noise riser or something that's synthetic. It's all organic elements. The heavy transition into the pre-chorus. Pay me, I don't want a charity dog. Yeah. What's different with this pre-chorus? You have these ahs in the back. Recorded really shittily, but it's for the vibes. It's not for you to pay attention on. Let's go into the second hook, which is pretty much the same. I mean, we're not doing anything different here, really. All that's different that's happening after this is the solo. I played a solo on this, and then I had Travis replace my solo with his. This is recorded straight, just directly with a cable into the computer. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the song, guys. There's really few elements that I modified and tweaked throughout the entire thing. And the vocals are doing a lot, and the progression is doing a lot. I don't even know what to say about this one. Honestly, I just took a lot of time making this song. The core idea was good, but building it out for 6 months was something that I opted to do because I believe in music that sounds like this. I think achieving this type of sound is really difficult, especially when you don't entirely rely on splice loops. As far as the guitars go, these are guitars that are recorded directly into my interface. They're not run through an amp or a pedal or anything. I use Wave's GTR tool rack. It's fantastic at giving you your own digital pedal board. They have awesome presets. They have a different lineup of amps you can choose. So it's basically kind of routing a real life. It's simulating it for you. All my bass is run through GTR as well. That's pretty much it. Just a side note. I'm thinking of doing a commentary podcast series on the album in general, just going track by track and talking through what they mean lyrically and what they mean to me as songs, which is different from what I'm doing on here. Let me know if that's a good idea.